What's going on, everybody? My name is Chris. Welcome to Bourbinsane. Today we're going to be reviewing Old Weller Antique 107. Now, Weller Antique 107 is a product made by Buffalo Trace, and they make a whole bunch of different types of products. So I've reviewed a couple already for you. Things like Buffalo Trace Bourbon, which is probably their main product they make. They also make the Weller products, so Weller 107. There's also a Weller Special Reserve, as well as a Weller 12-year. And again, they make a bunch of higher-end products as well. So along their Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, they call it, that's things like the George T. Stagg, Eagle Rare, 17-year, Sazerac, Rye, a whole bunch of great products. Now, Weller is actually the same family as the Pappy Van Winkles or the Van Winkle line for Buffalo Trace. So Pappy Van Winkle, highly regarded, possibly regarded as the highest end, if not one of the highest end bourbons in the entire world. Weller is actually the younger version of Pappy. So Buffalo Trace doesn't set aside certain barrels to become Pappy Van Winkle. They actually have their tasters at Buffalo Trace go around, taste all the barrels, and determine, hey, this is Weller 107. This should be a Pappy Van Winkle barrel. This should be a Weller Special Reserve barrel. So if the Weller product is good enough to become a Pappy Van Winkle, they're going to leave it sit in that rickhouse for a longer period of time to keep aging. But Weller, especially the 107 product, is still considered to be a very good product. Even though it's not quite to Pappy level, it's very sought after, very hard to get and allocated by Buffalo Trace. Now, this Weller product is actually a wheated bourbon, so it's made up of 70% corn and actually 16% wheat. So we'll see if we pick up any different notes with it being wheated versus a typical high corn or rye mash bill bourbon. All right, let's go on into the color here. Now, I would describe this as a dark amber or caramel color. Again, this is Weller 107, so the 107 means it's 107 proof. And you can really see that in this color here. It's quite dark, very dark caramel color. All right, guys, let's give it a nose here. Right off the bat, I'm getting a different smell. With all the wheated bourbons I've had, they kind of have that similar smell. It's hard for me to describe. Again, I'm no expert reviewing these, but it's got the wheated bourbon smell, I guess I call it. I guess it's almost like a bready note to me. Almost like a fresh baked bread note, if you will. It smells like a rich caramel, rich vanilla to me. A little bit of spice on the nose, actually, maybe like a cinnamon. I don't know if that's more the proof coming through or if it's just a cinnamon smell I'm getting. Yeah, a little bit of sting in the nostrils on that there. It's a very good nose. Those rich caramels and vanillas really give it a great smell. Let's go ahead and give it a taste here, guys. Cheers. Little bit of spiciness on the tongue with this one. Again, maybe like some clove in this. A little bit of clove. And again with the cinnamon on the tongue is what I'm getting. You still get all those rich vanillas, rich caramel flavors. The taste is actually very similar to the nose. It's a very good taste. It doesn't burn like a over 100 proof bourbon would. It's actually surprisingly smooth for that. The spiciness on the tongue, I really do think comes more from the flavors in the bourbon. You know, on the second sip, I am picking up a little bit of oak in this, actually. You still get what I would describe as a cinnamon, a little bit spiciness on the tongue. Again, from the flavor, I really don't think it's the proof that's doing this. I don't feel the burn like I would from a high proof or a barrel proof bourbon. It's just kind of a little, maybe cinnamony taste on the tongue that's really doing it for me. It's got great flavor. I'd say a medium to long finish on this, actually. Nice warm feeling in the chest still. The high proof, again, is going to do that to you usually. And I invite that Kentucky hug. So overall, guys, this is a fantastic bourbon. Retail value on this is actually going to be between $25 and $30. depending on where you're located. At that price, it's a no-brainer. You have to pick up a bottle if you can find it. That's going to be the problem, though, is actually being able to find a bottle. Again, it's on allocation by Buffalo Trace, so it's very hard to get. States get a very limited amount of bottles as well, so you really have to just be in good with the store owner and kind of get on their good side in order for them to hold a bottle aside for you. Secondary markets, this bottle is going to run you $45 to $60. Personally, I would pay around $40 for this. Retail value is a much better price in my opinion, $25 to $30. I don't think I'll go up to $50 or $60 like we're seeing on secondary prices now. When I first got into bourbon, I bought a couple of these bottles. I paid more than I should have for them. At least for the first bottle, I don't regret doing it. It's one of those products I've never seen in the stores. When I got further down the road into bourbon more, I actually found a store owner who I was talking to, and they actually had a bottle they set aside for me. And I was able to get it for about 25 bucks. So at that price, guys, I mean, you really can't beat it, but again, it's going to be very difficult to get your hands on. Overall, it's a fantastic product, though. If you are able to get it, definitely pick it up. You're not going to regret it. It's got all the great cornerstone bourbon notes you would ever want. Caramels, vanillas, a little bit of oak in there, and cinnamon, maybe clove in the taste as well. Just overall, a fantastic product, guys. If you can get your hands on it, go out and pick it up for sure. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Stay insane. Thanks for watching the video today, guys. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also follow me on Instagram @Bourbinsane and Facebook Bourbinsane.